Hello and welcome to week 3 of our weekly workflow here at Novi Labs. I'm Scott Iceton and today we're taking a look at a popular workflow of how do I get a foothold in some of the busier basins. So as you can see, I loaded up the Texas side of the Delaware Basin here and wanted to get a sense for where all the recent activity has been. So I'm going to lasso 22 and 23 for start dates. And you can see a lot of drilling's happening right on that state line as we'd expect. But there is a decent amount of drilling down here in kind of like this southern Delaware Basin here. And one of the things that caught my eye was in 23, VTX took a really big acreage position here. And they were one of about 3 or 4 different acquisitions that crested kind of that $50 to $100 million range in terms of acquisitions. Some of the names that are down here, right? You have Exxon, you have Conoco, you have Chevron, and a couple other really big names, right? Callan's down here as well. And so a lot of good names that are still actively drilling here. This is competing for capital. So the other thing that I wanted to see is starting to mix in a little geologic context. So if I were to take just the southern Delaware here, I'm going to lasso it up and get a sense for primary and secondary targets. You can see here that, no surprise, the Wolfcamp A is really kind of the largest target. Wolfcamp B is also going to be a primary target. And then you get a decent amount of this second Bone Springs lime and some of the third Bone Springs sand there. So having said that, I'm going to jump over and start really getting deeper into geology. Right now, I just have it colored up on structural depth. It's super nice to have these extractions, especially if I'm being pulled to a part of the basin that I'm not familiar with. So you can see that, as we get a little bit fringier, we get a little bit shallower. One of the things that I like to do is really just pick out those primary targets and get a sense for thickness through zone. And instantly kind of in that VTX and the Diamondback area, you really start to see the thickness of that Wolfcamp A really jump out at me. So these step outs here and here are really kind of thick, and they also line up with some of the best results. So I've got this cross-plotted by 12-month cum oil, and you'll start to see that area really light up with some of the best results there. Some of the other things that I look at here, just getting a sense for if V clay or water saturation, 2 really important pieces to our multivariate modeling. A lot of times these are really significant whenever we look at well results. And so I can start to see, where water saturation is high or low. I can also see where that correlates with kind of my step out areas by just lassoing along kind of this little ridge. So I'm going to be generous with Culberson and say that it's kind of a step out for me as well. But I can see the distribution. I can start to see clustering and trends. And if I wanted to get specific with a certain set of wells, I can go ahead and kind of lasso that top quartile where water saturation's low and get a sense for where those results are. So again, thanks again for joining. We'll have more in-depth reviews of geology as we go through these workflows, and talk to you soon. Thank you.